Hey, this is Greg McIntyre with Unleashed, and today we're going to talk about Uncanny Valley. What is Uncanny Valley? Uncanny Valley is a concept, really deriving from digital images, AI creations, things like that, where something doesn't feel quite right about it. Uncanny Valley, as my daughter Kate defined it, was, you can't really trust that anything is real in Uncanny Valley. Something feels off. I find myself over the last week to 2 weeks feeling that something feels off. It's an Uncanny Valley type of experience where public officials, the government tells us one thing, but it doesn't match up with our intuition, with our common sense, and what we know rings true. We know the truth when we hear it. We know when things match up. So really speaking about the Charlie Kirk assassination, bothered me. A lot of things about that bothered me, and I don't want to get deep into the partisan politics of it. If there's one thing that Charlie Kirk wanted to do, it was sit down and have a conversation, regardless of whether you agreed with his politics or not. That is to be respected on both sides of any issue and anywhere across the spectrum in between those issues or beyond those issues. No matter what side you take, you should be able to articulate your position in a marketplace of ideas. The best ideas win, and one idea modifies the other. So the answer might not be between this idea and this idea, between one extreme or the other. It might be somewhere of compromise in the middle. And that's how I feel like our politicians used to work, our politics used to work, instead of this extreme partisan gridlock, which keeps things locked on both sides and people don't reach across the aisle, compromise to make deals. So the best hybrid of ideas and concepts move forward. And the Charlie Kirk rhetoric that has been put out, or on both sides, certainly it's being used on both sides as a political issue. But also you have public officials coming out, the Utah governor, Kash Patel, Candace Owens losing her mind over it. A lot of people really picking it apart. And, there's a lot of things that don't make sense. I actually have a 21-year-old, a 25-year-old, and 4 teenage daughters. Well, one of them is almost a teenager. And I have nary ever heard a 22-year-old speak like those texts. No one calls a police car a squad car unless you're on the squad. And it gives you that uncanny, reading those texts gives you that Uncanny Valley experience of, something just doesn't add up here. And I'm not sure what all is afoot. But if we want to restore our faith in institutions, in our public institutions, at the federal, state, and local levels, and with our politicians, our elected officials, with the bureaucrats and the politicians, then we need transparency. It has to be transparent. And I thought about these different Uncanny Valley type of experiences. When we think historically, just in our country, there's JFK assassination, MLK, Robert Kennedy. The moon landing is a huge one that's debated and widely debated. Some things just don't match up. There's UFO sightings, hundreds of thousands of them or more, that our government's aware of. Our government's holding information. Now they have congressional committees actually releasing information, confirming that there's these things out there. What are they? Or wild stuff. that's happening in my lifetime. And it's amazing to go through. I don't know about you, but it's freaky, it's scary, and amazing to go through. But it shows you the lack of transparency. The Epstein files, I mean, that's a huge one. That's huge. Why those files aren't released out there, I have no idea. I'd love to do a whole show on that, because I think the Epstein files actually has the ability to probably blow up both parties and a lot of people in that layer above that control both those parties. And that's probably why they aren't released. And that's sad. It's sad on so many levels. And for women, children that suffered because of that situation. And why would a government not release the full files and information on just those ones that I mentioned? Why not? Why not just release them? Maybe because they think the release of that information would do more harm than good. But then the question is, okay, why? If there's no governmental involvement in each one of those things, if there's no collusion or direct involvement by FBI, CIA, and others, or foreign actors, why not release those things? It makes no sense why they wouldn't be released. So those things bother me, but I don't dwell on them. You can't. We have our jobs to do and daily lives to live. But I would like to see trust in government as much as possible restored. And I think it's on our government officials, on the institutions, to come clean, to lay things out there in a way that is evident and just on its face. Hey, here's all the cards I'm holding in my hand, and what do you think? Let's move forward, because that's what needs to happen. If not, my fear is mistrust builds on mistrust builds on mistrust until it's irreparable harm and it's too late. And that's not what I want. I am someone who is a veteran of the U.S. military. I love our country. And there's no one that wants to see our country be the greatest shining city on a hill than me. I want prosperity, safety, and leadership. Good, solid, ethical leadership in our country, and a good partnership with the public and its people, and great representation and true democratic representation of our people. So that's the episode today, Uncanny Valley, and really we're just getting started because I have a surprise. I was thinking that of those events that I've talked about, a South Park episode would be amazing. It would be something I would want to watch based on everything that's happened, everything the Utah governor said, Kash Patel, Candace Owens, the purported meetings of Charlie Kirk prior to this happening on August 5th and beyond, and some chain of events that have been written about by reputable writers, and put out in the media, and then run with by other people as well. Not in a bad way. I mean, there's some smart people that are really breaking this down. I thought, man, they could have a field day with this thing. And they took a week off out of respect. Or maybe because the network thought they would go off and do it, and that would be end badly for the network. So we have created our own show, Uncanny Valley, that's airing as part of this show. So that's coming up next. Check it out. Certainly South Park style, but in its own style. And I think you're going to love it because it lays out in a satirical way. And I think it's pretty funny as well. So check out Uncanny Valley. I'll air that. I'll just start that here in a second, and you'll be able to see it on the events surrounding from August 5th forward. I hope that there can be a healing and reconciliation and restoration of trust in our country, in our government, healing across the aisle between the two parties operating within that frame that I discussed in last week's episode. Is our democracy an illusion or a true democracy? And I wanted to dive into that two-party framework and start drilling into that. We've got a 20-episode season. This is episode number 2. But there's time for that. I think that trust in the government, just the farcical, comedic statements and evidence released, in my opinion, not directly to the public and some leak through press surrounding recent events, needs to be discussed, needs to be talked about, and needs to change. I told you in the last episode, I feel like our government treats us with disrespect, that we lack intelligence or the ability to sense and see what's real and not real. And that's sad. And I think there's so many people waking up. I thought about it when I was growing up. I was born in 75. So really grew up 75 through the 80s. And my parents, when they were younger and growing up, you had fewer media outlets. You had I remember we had there was VHF and UHF. And, you had a few channels on VHF, the major networks. And then you had some UHF channels. Beyond that, that was it. We didn't have cable when I was, growing up for a while until I was, I remember getting cable, as a young child and having HBO, maybe 11, 12 years old, something like that. But, it was easier to control the narrative. And I feel like really in a grander sense of ignorance is bliss, the vast majority of Americans were okay with that and felt fine with that and were placated by the narrative put out by the news channels, which were, I'm sure, still being fed information from government agencies. So nothing's changed, in my opinion, along those lines. What has changed is the way we consume information and the massive amount of information that's out there. So there's a lot more information coming through social media. There's many more outlets for people who really want to get the information out to plug into to get that information out. Say a leaker or somebody who really knows a really good, or a victim or somebody who knows a really good piece of information. So I don't see society as having changed. Although generations change and upgrade over time, right? Over generations. But I see the real fundamental change has been the massive increase in the ability to get information out to the public without being shut down. But you still see it. Massive control over information flow from the government. Massive overreach, even on social media platforms. You saw it during COVID like crazy. I'm all for free speech and free information. I think that is the way to shine a light on the darkness. I would say putting pressure on politicians and government officials, I hope would work. But again, If you watch my last episode, I don't have a ton of faith in that because of who really owns and controls the politicians. And that's not we the people and our vote. We'll tackle that more extensively in some future episodes where we really go into the Citizens United decision, where the Supreme Court essentially usurped the authority of the judiciary and the executive and made your vote not count hardly at all or as much because of the massive amount of corporate money that's allowed to flow into elections now. So that's a tough decision. And I really want to drill down on that. And I may have a guest on that show who's very passionate about it. So I might bring on a guest that I have in mind right now. But I hope you enjoy this episode of Uncanny Valley, okay? We're going to tackle the Kirk assassination with respect, but also point out the vast amount of stories and information that are flowing. So we showcase a lot of information that is being put out and stated and investigated and written about from beginning to end, both the political federal government narrative as well as others that are looking at other possibilities and narratives. And I did that in what I thought was a dispassionate way, and as far as not taking a side, but laying bare all the different voices, and you see which ones you think are true. What's the true story that is somewhere in between and woven into all those different versions and narratives that are out there at the moment? Enjoy Uncanny Valley. Thank you. Next week, we'll be here with a different episode, so stay tuned.
Charlie, this shift, these things you've been saying, you can't continue to say them. I won't stand for it. We help make you. We can bring you down. No more anti-Israel talk. We cannot lose the young American conservative demo.
No, B. I'm good, really. I like to take a measured, reasoned approach to things. I'm evaluating my position on Israel and Palestine.
No, Charlie, this is not the way.
But Charlie, I don't do it, man.
No, Chuck!
You don't know what you're doing?
Hey guys, I know what I'm doing. I built Turning Point. I have strong beliefs, but I also logically evaluate my positions, and those can change over time.
I will not stand for this. You will find out soon enough, Phoebe. Yeah, baby, I have him right here.
Hello.
Charlie, how are you doing? Listen, you've just won an all-expenses-paid trip to Israel, and we are going to inject $150 million into Turning Point. That doubles your current budget. All I need you to do is stop saying the things you've been saying. We can't lose the support of your audience. That would be tragic for us. We must maintain support over America's conservative youth. It's crucial. You with me, Charlie baby? I knew I could count on you. See you soon.
Well, sir, you see, I have my own thoughts I'm working through and developing on what is going on over there. I am working through it, and I do think.
Nonsense. We will see you soon. The cash is on its way through our American sources.
Sir, I respect your position, but I respectfully decline your offer. I have lots to do here, and I love Israel, the Holy Land, but it's the Holy Land for all of us. I have my own job to do, and I take that very seriously.
Oh, Charlie.
I cannot believe this. This meeting is over. Phoebe, he is a liability. Dangerous.
We cannot lose control here, and we can't afford to lose America's conservative youth. We have to do something.
What do you propose?
It's time to activate the Tactical Reconnaissance Assassination and Neutralization Strike Force. Trans, you let me handle that.
You're the boss.
Okay, welcome to the first mission of the Tactical Reconnaissance Assassination and Neutralization Strike Force. I've gotten the order and we are officially sanctioned and activated.
Hell yeah, I always wanted to be a part of a real special forces team.
Okay, so for the plan. Drunk old man. When you hear a loud bang, you stand up and yell that you did it. Then the rest of the team will have time to get away.
Roger, I did it! I did it! It's me! It's me!
Which one of you is actually going to do it?
None of us, silly. That's a government job.
It feels like we're only here to take the blame.
Hey team, don't ask questions, just create drama. Let's show them what Team Trans can do. Go Trans.
Sad news tonight. The founder of Turning Point has passed away.
Yes, my good friend Charlie was a great American. Immigration, Chicago bad. You are stupid, you are dumb, you are not very talented. That is
Hello, I'm your Utah governor. Let me tell you exactly and succinctly what happened. And you will believe me, yes, he was wearing one outfit entering the campus, and then changed into another outfit on the roof, and then back into another outfit, which is the one outfit that he was seen to be wearing when he left campus, and then he changed into his pajamas and then back into his work clothes and then brushed his teeth in his special toothbrushing outfit and then back into his pajamas and went to bed. Just trust me. Just believe me and trust me. That's the ticket.
Hey, it's your buddy Cash here. So let's get right into it. Yes, he toted the gun in his leg. See, he was limping coming into campus because of that. Well, and on the roof, he had a screwdriver where he dismantled the gun, but then on the roof, he was running just after the shot was fired. He has superhuman speed with a screwdriver and gun disassembly. That explains that. So after taking apart the gun, like the Flash, he jumped off the roof. As you can see in this extremely grainy digital video we released to TMZ, extremely grainy because it is digital video, which is digital and not grainy, unless we make it grainy before we release it. I mean, we released the video to the public, not TMZ. TMZ is a Hollywood gossip rag, and why would we use them as an outlet to leak information to shape a narrative to the public? Yes, you cannot see a gun on him on the roof. There is no gun. Well, we later found the gun assembled and in a towel in the woods. You see, he teleported the gun with his superpowers to a nearby wood, fully intact. The screwdriver and the gun and towel, which he speaks of in the text, we will manufacture and release later this week. We'll connect those dots, and he will specifically state that he left the gun in the towel and that he absolutely acted alone. And he did this all by himself with a week's planning. Stay tuned. FBI agent Fred, who has never met a 22-year-old in his life and is not allowed around young people, is writing those text messages as we speak.
Hey, it's Candace Owens here, and wait till you see what I found out today. I'm mad. I'm angry. If I'm going down, I'm taking everybody down with me. Everything, literally everything in this investigation is wrong. I'm going to literally parse every word of every document that comes out of this investigation and question every single narrative. Government and Israel bad. Me good. Macron's wife has a D and not a P. Stay tuned for my next rant where I will say things that get me sued by most world leaders. Did I say I'm mad and angry? Fuck Ben Shapiro.
Good evening. I'm Mike Newsman, and this is the news. We have new, and frankly unusual, details in the aftermath of the attack on Charlie Kirk. Prosecutors this afternoon released alleged text messages between the suspect and his roommate. We're going to read them now verbatim so you can decide for yourselves. We'll start with the first. Alleged shooter, quote, "Drop what you are doing, look under my keyboard." Roommate looks under keyboard and finds a note. "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." And then, quote, "I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you." So, confession, logistical notes, and apology, all in the same paragraph. Moving on. No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. You've got your manifesto, your tactical status update, and neighborhood traffic reports. It's like a macabre Allen wrench instruction manual. Okay? I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the fuck will I explain losing it to my old man? Imagine trying to explain losing Grandpa's rifle. "Hey Dad, long story. It's complicated, and now the police are involved. That's one for the family holiday albums. And this direct quote, "Remember how I was engraving bullets? The fucking messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notices Boljuwu on Fox News, I might have a stroke all right. I'm gonna have to leave it. That really fucking sucks." Engraved bullets, meme language. Notices Boljuwu, which for the record, I had to Google in the break. It's an extraordinary pastiche of internet subculture and homicide logistics. Look, we'll keep running the facts for you, but when a confession reads like a thread stolen from a gaming chat room and officials are out here using it as the day's docket, there's a disconnect. You don't have to be a criminal justice scholar to notice the tonal whiplash. Trite meme references nested inside what prosecutors say is an active confession. Also, delete this exchange. Classic. Delete button. The most modern of denials. We'll keep you updated on the investigation. The FBI says they're looking at leads and theories. And yes, they released these texts as part of court filings. But if you're asking me what to make of a 22-year-old allegedly writing like a cross between a shooter and an off-brand forum moderator, I don't have an answer that doesn't sound like a punchline. So, we read the text. You decide, we'll keep you posted. For tonight, I'm done. This is what passes for news now?
What the fuck was that? Chaos. Drama. I guess that's what they wanted from us.
Hell yeah! I always wanted to be a part of a real special forces team.
That's great.
Hey, I did my job. I got arrested and everything.
Hey, who was that Tyler guy?
Great question. Nobody knows.
Maybe we weren't there to take the blame after all.